Right from a childhood, we love to hear stories, right? And we also love to just tell our stories to others and inspire. Each of all the five chapters will have an activity which I really want you to be very serious in doing this. Because the most important thing in life is more than anything, I want you to know about yourself. I want you to learn about yourself. I want you to understand about yourself. So when you start to understand more about yourself, your life is really going to be so very happy, fulfilled and very joyous. So I promise you that your perspective towards your life is really going to change by the time you complete your course. So what are you waiting for? Look forward to see you inside this course. Is the most powerful four-letter word in the history of negativity, and it has the highest level of influence in everyone's life. Fear has killed many more lives than accidents and all the natural disasters combined. A person is killed many times before his death due to fear. Lives of many are frequented by continuous panic attacks, depressions and worry, really due to a high degree of fear. There are many who say that we need to fight against fear, never to give in to fear, and we all need to understand that what you resist can really persist. The most important lesson is not to fight fear rather than understanding fear. The more you understand fear, greater will be your power to control. Fear follows us everywhere, in making presentations, in work, in families and all other things. We are just being followed by fear. I hate to say that there is no route to fearlessness, rather only a deep understanding of fear, and going into the depths of fear, we can really come out of fear. Is it not so? So now by the time you would have understood what fear really is. Now I just want to tell you a very kind of small story about fear and how it stops you from going to the next step. So I'm going like once upon a time, yes, I'm going to tell. Once upon a time, there was a kind of a traveler who was just on a journey to a very kind of far away land. So he started the journey in the early morning while he was walking around the places. Then it was almost like kind of night time. So there was no moonlight at those times, and he just wanted to finish the journey and reach the place. So he was on a mountain path actually. So he was on a mountain path. He was slowly walking with a small backpack and he was just like kind of walking. So what ultimately happened is that now he is not able to see what is in front of him, but he really did want to finish the journey. He was kind of little bit afraid how it might go or some kind of any other wild animals would be there or any kind of roadblocks or things like that. But still he kind of wanted to move on. So he started moving on kind of slowly. So ultimately he heard some rocks falling from the mountain and he was kind of little bit afraid. Still he just went on. Suddenly what happened is that the ground around him like kind of slided away. So he was just sliding and ultimately his heart was like beating very fast that he's going to fall off this cliff. But ultimately he just landed on a branch of a tree. So he held on to the branch like this. He was just hanging like this for. But he was little bit lucky. He thought that, oh God, at least really did made me fall off from the mountain. By luck, I got hold of this tree. So his hands were aching like anything, and he was just thinking like, if I leave this tree, what would happen to my family? What would happen to my kids, my business, and all the other things? Many things were going on in this mind, but he was so afraid, so much fear. He was not able even to sleep. Right? How can he sleep? Because he was holding this tree like very tight because he's going to fall off. So this entire night was really a nightmare for this traveler. He thought, why did I do like this? Got up all sorts of thinking, like anxious thinking that came because he was afraid that he might lose his life if he just lets branch go. So morning started coming slowly, the sun started rising, and then what happened is that when he looked down, he started to smile. The reason because had he just pushed his feet little bit 2 to 3 inches, there was ground beneath his feet. And he could have sat over there or he could have slept and could have continued this journey. Or he was afraid and hanging the branch, he never ever took time just to push his feet a little bit, like half feet, he would have found this ground and he could have rested and come out of this. This is what fear really does to us. Those like 1 or 2, 3 inches, if you can push yourself to this fear would really not hold you. Am I right in this case? Many of us would have felt this kind of same situation. If I would have done this, if I would have tried doing this, I might learn a lesson, or I might would have come out from my fear. So this is what we do in our life, my friends. We don't push that extra 2 or 3 inches inside the fear to really just understand our capability. So this is the story about fear. Hope so that you enjoy the story, and hope so you think something about the story. Whenever you are faced with fear, some kind of fearful situation, what happens if I just go the 2 or 3 inches inside that? The grass is always greener on the other side of the fear, right? Is it? So thanks for the story, and I have an activity also for you that we need to overcome what is happening in our life about fear. So stay tuned for this activity, and I want you to do this in a very sincere thing, right? What is some kind of fear cycle that we really face about, right? You can be creative anyway like you want, or it can be just a blank thing because you can do whatever you wanted, just or just a simple sheet of paper would also be enough. But if you're kind of little bit creative, or if you want to spend some time doing some activity like this, I would suppose so, because it's get you'll get a hang of loving what you do, and kind of generally it would feel beautiful. Okay, now let's get started, right? So let me just put you some kind of. So this is some kind of situation that we are in. Okay, so the first thing that what we would do is we are going to be like, yes, when the situation happens, the first thing you are doing going to happen is just the same old fear what you've been facing, right? So now what you do, according to the story and all the other things, that 2 steps what you can do can change your life. First is like I want you to just like do it. This is the first step that you're gonna do it. Do it anyway, no matter what. Let's see the second situation to here. Okay, I'll just take this and take another thing. I'm sorry, it's not the pen that I really wanted. Okay. Now this was the first option. Now this comes the second option. Again, you will have fear here, but now what you're going to do is avoid reality. Yes, this is doing it, and like you're just going to avoid it. So this is the most important thing here. What we really do, right? We don't want to, if it is a presentation or something, we don't want to do it. We just try to avoid it. We just beg that dates not come, and we just make up some kind of all kind of excuses here. So but what do we just ultimately get out of all these things? First is you, as usual, screw up. Yes, this is going to happen. Okay, do it anyway. So what are you going to do? Here also the same thing. You may screw up or you may not screw up. Both of the things can happen in this kind of situation. But the most important thing is in option number one, when you're going to do it anyway, you know what happens here? You are going to get some kind of lesson from this. Yes. The lesson is really that you will understand. First thing is your fears are not too big that you first imagine. Yes, that's the most big thing. Second, you're going to have some gut to do this again and again, no matter how bad it happens. So this is the thing that I wanted to do you anyway. Do it anyway, no matter what. So what happens in this cycle is here, after learning the lesson, you are not going to be in the fear cycle once again. This is going to cut off. Now let's see what happens here. You screw up. Now here, since you avoid, you are not going to get any lesson here. So the ultimate thing that is going to happen is this is like this cycle. When you don't read any lesson or don't get any lesson, the cycle follows again. So fear. Screwed up. Yes, it was very bad. But the thing is that after just 5 minutes, it went pretty well. This is, I don't know whether it is luck or something. For the second presentation, it was also screwed, but I kind of really managed. Now for the third time, I really did not screw. All is yes, all is well. So this happens for every single one of us, right? It can be a presentation or it can be anything or whatever it is. For many others, like I'm not just giving you an example, it can be like flying, like fear of heights, it can be like fear of rejection or whatever stuff, whatever you want, it's true because it's for different. So the big thing is, whatever this, I'm just going to ask you only one thing here. Do it anyway. No matter how bad it looks or how bad you can think of it, when you just start doing it anyway, you will understand that the depth of your fear is very less than what you really imagine. So take this exercise. It may look like a very kind of simple exercise anyhow, but it is kind of like a very important exercise. Take your own time in doing all this kind of stuff, because even if it's just a small journaling, just do it. So better understand the things and About the stuff like kind of this. Okay, so I want you to break this fear cycle. Yes, this fear cycle should never be with you. It's like kind of this is like kind of, oh god, break it. Yes, yes. I want you to break this fear cycle no matter whatever happens. So I hope so you enjoyed this activity. Anyhow, I want to take your time and do your own kind of, it's a fun thing, right? I'll just meet you in another activity, guys. Sure. Take care. Time, yes. Now we are going to very, very far off, back to history, where like kind of kings ruled the world. So there was once a great king who had lived in a great big palace, and the big thing is that he was a kind of a very good king. He cared for his subjects, he cared for the people, who cared for the people working under him, and he is just a king that who prefers peace rather than war. And also subjects also loved him like anything because he was a kind of very good king. So this king got so many gifts from all the neighboring lands like diamonds, gold and so much treasures which other kings really gave him because he was such kind of good person who had good relationship with everybody else. So of all the gifts that king received, there was one praised gift that he loved so much, and that was nothing but two eagles given by a queen from a neighboring country. The king was so fond of this queen, maybe he loved the eagles so much. But now comes the twist in the story. The big problem with this gift is these two eagles refuse to fly. You know about eagles, right? Eagles fly very high, like things. But these two really keep refusing to fly, and all they do is hold on to the branches. Just for some branch, it was a gift. It just held on to this branch very tightly. You know about eagle's claws, right? Holds like this. So completely refusing to fly. So this king one day called a bird trainer and asked him, "My dear trainer, this is one of my most favorite gifts that I got. I really want you to help to make these two eagles fly." So this trainer told, "Yes, your lord, I will do it for you." So he went, he took the eagles. Almost like 1 month passed by. So now the king was kind of very curious what is happening with this most prized birds, right? The king visited the trainer, and the trainer showed that one eagle was flying and it obeyed the trainer's commands. But the trainer told him, "My dear king, no matter how hard I try, it is only one eagle that is ready to fly, and another eagle just holds on to this branch very tightly and just completely refusing to fly." The king asked all like magicians and all the other wildlife experts. Everybody came and tried to make this one eagle fly. The eagle just held on to this branch. This is all the eagle told. Oh, eagles don't speak, so it nodded like this. Okay. So this is what has happened. So this thing made the king kind of very depressed because this is very, very wonderful gift that he has, right? The king was depressed. News about all this eagle refusing to fly spread around the kingdom, and many people came and tried all they could. But this eagle simply never moved out of its branch. It was all like, it was like that. So ultimately, one farmer who liked the king so much came to the kingdom, bowed to the king, and told him, "My dear king, if you really don't mind, can I take this eagle? Let me just try it, what I can do." So the king just gave this eagle to the farmer and asked the farmer to take care of this eagle very well because it is his, like its most prized treasure, right? So some kind of weeks passed by. The king was just going around the country, wanted to know how the things were going in his chariot, like this. And then he saw an amazing sight. He looked up, he saw this eagle flying like anything else. He was kind of amazed, surprised, kind of very happy. Almost all the anxiety that he had within, everything vanished. He just went into the farmer and asked him, "My dear farmer, what did you really do for this eagle? I'm very happy because of what you did for me." The farmer just smiled at the king and told him, "My dear king, I never did anything. I just cut off the branch which the eagle had been holding very tightly. Once there was no branch, this eagle has to fly. Other than that, there was no option." So this is the story about your, I'll tell you later. So this is nothing but the eagle was holding on to its comfort zone, which is nothing but the branch. Like the eagle, we also have some kind of comfort zones, right? We hold on, latch on to this comfort zones, like maybe playing games from morning till evening or binge watching Netflix things again and again and again, but not doing something productive or for our own development. It also happens with you, me, and everybody else. We latch onto the comfort zones like anything, not realizing that we are destined to be someone so great in life if we had just drop that branch and come out of our comfort zones. So, I know that you would love this story. Like, even I really like the story. So now I'm not going to end with the story. We are going to do for an activity on identifying your comfort zones along with me, because I also have my own comfort zone, right? Then we'll find out ways how you can just come out of your comfort zones. Simply, all I just ask you is keep a journal, keep a pen, keep writing. See you in this activity, friends. So hi there, and welcome to this activity on your comfort zone. Hope you have enjoyed the story of the two eagles, right? So right now we are that kind of lazy eagle over here. So this is some kind of comfort zone chart which I really wanted to know. The first table is this one. Right now this is the comfort zone. And from here we are just going to progress all the way. So comfort zone can be anything. For me, I'll just put this kind of Netflix, some kind of one comfort zone. Then the second can be just like kind of sleeping. Okay. And next is my favorite, which I'm kind of proud of, this gaming. And you can write anything, whatever, what all you like. It's just no activity, just lazy. Just some things like this. Then and next, then we can just go around like kind of, we are going to progress for the next stage, right? I'm going to just come out of my comfort zone right now. So first thing what I'm going to do is I'm going to be afraid, definitely, because this area is some kind of, I was so secure and I was so very happy. Now this one, like what happens is like what we're going to have is okay, lack of confidence when I enter here. This should be the cause for everybody. Then the most important is you can be rejected, that's for sure. Then okay, low self-esteem. Okay, then what all things, you'll be so very anxious when you just progress from comfort zone to fear. These are things that happen really. If you really want, you can be back also from fear. Many people again they come back to these areas too. So this becomes your old life right now if you are just coming. Now we are going to break this. The door opens here. So you understood everything about this lack of confidence, rejection, self-esteem. Now what you're going to do is you're going to just develop, right? Read books. Okay. Stand up for yourself. Yes. stand up for you. Then how to just lack of confidences, online courses. You're just growing up right now. More like kind of Skillshare. Yes, Skillshare is something very great. Learning, then rejecting, getting rejected again and again. You will have build up some kind of hope. Then faith. Yes, these are the things that happens in this kind of learning stage. Now after this, now comes the real life, right? You're going to be develop. Yes, the last thing can be called as self actualization. Yes, you're happy. Now comes you understand yourself. You start to really work pretty harder, right? Hardworking. Then what happens? You will solve more problems. Problem solver. Yes. These are some of the things that what will happen if you just progress from your comfort zone to straight to growth zone. So this is what I really want you to just break free from your comfort zone, and it's kind of really start to be beautiful when you just move out of your things. So now what an exercise is like this. I want you to really do it by yourself. The first thing is like identify your comfort zones, which you really did last time, like Netflix. Okay, this is for you. It can be anything, right? I'm not going to ask you anything. Gaming. Then I'm like kind of like feeling of enough. Yes, I don't. I'm enough. Yes, I don't want anything. No working. No, just lazy. Okay, many things. Name blah 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 blah. But you need to take some time to do it, right? So what action can I take comes the second step. I know that I cannot cut Netflix race. Mm, do something like productive. If I've been watching Netflix continuously, like maybe I'll just what action take on like every day some kind of okay 30 minutes reduction. Yes, in weekends I can do something right. Weekends try to involve some kind of volunteer activity, something like that. And if you really like, just come out of this stuff, like running or something like walking. But come out of your comfort zone is something that I really wanted. What action you can take, it can be different from for you and me, right? Okay, now comes something what I really loved doing. Yes, I really loved some kind of drawing. Okay, then I want to just take speaking. Yes, I love speaking. Yes, speaking with people. Yes, this is what really I loved. Then what all I loved? Cars and bikes. Yes, cars and bikes. Then from my age old, like trekking. Yes, these are things I really love to do it. But everything got spoiled by this so-called comfort zones. Yes. What I really loved doing when I was a kid was like kind of like something. This is very, very important. What I really want you to understand. Now, what can I learn? We'll just take up an activity. I know that you really can't come off your comfort zone, something very easily. Like we'll just keep like 30 days. Yes. 30 days every day. I want you to just somewhere cross mark that you have been doing this activity. It can be like some kind of measuring in your calendar or something that I did. Maybe take up like some kind of Like drawing course, something what you really love. Drawing course, then I really love illustration. Then something like my favorite photography, or be a YouTuber. Yes, you can just start your own YouTube channel or make a Skillshare class like what I am doing right now. Yes. So these are some of the ways that I really think that you can come out of your comfort zone. I really want you to come out of your comfort zone straight from here to all the way to this growth. Yes. Get out there. Oh, learn fear and yes, this is kind of very, very important in your life. So hope you'll really enjoy doing this activity together somehow. I really hope so. So that's it for now. See you in the next activity, guys. Bye bye. Storm breaks even the strongest and the boldest trees. During the storms of stress, it is not the strongest or the bravest who survive. Instead, the survivor is the one who can wait and learn. We cannot change the forces of wind that challenges us, but we must learn to sway and dance during those storms to stand firm. The only requirement is just to ask yourself, is it worth being stressed? So how do I deal with stress? The most effective remedy to combat stress is to slow down and think. Sudden reaction or restlessness is like pouring burning oil in a raging fire. Be it in any kind of pressure that is derived from relationship, stressful office atmosphere, stress due to failed business, or piling debts can be handled down if we practice to let go the building tension and learn to relax for some time. When under stress, just wait for 10 minutes and then go on to make the decision. Those 10 minutes can make a huge difference in handling stress. In the words of Blaise Pascal, all men's miseries derive from not being able to sit in a quiet room alone. Do remember, take a deep breath, it's just a bad day and not a bad life. So, by now you would have understood what stress can do to your life, right? Now, some for a kind of beautiful small story right now. So again, once upon a time, yes. Once there was a kind of Buddhist monastery situated like in up above the hills where everything was like kind of wonderful with beautiful nature and all the other things. There were many students in this Buddhist monastery and they were kind of good and very wise masters teaching the students every day of their lessons and all the other things. So this was kind of going on where the students learned good amount of wisdom from these great masters. So one day in a class, one student asked a master, "Oh dear master, I have a doubt. Why does a person becomes a wild animal when he is so stressed about?" Yes. This wise master understood this is one of the most important questions asked by the student which this entire world is facing right now due to this thing, stress. So this master understood somehow he has to give an answer, right? So he asked the student, go to the kitchen, bring a glass of water and also the big jar of salt over there. The student and all the other students were kind of some kind of puzzled. What is happening? What are we going to do? So the master asked the students to follow them for a small walk. So along with the master, the students also followed for a walk and after a point of time, they reached a small lake. Beautiful lake with a still water and wonderful. You can imagine how beautiful it would be to see, right? So now this master asked the student, take this some of the salt from the jar and put it into this small glass of water that you have. So the student poured some salt from this jar and then they mixed the water and he showed it to the master. The master asked the students to just take a sip from this glass of water. The students just sip from this glass of water and oh master, this water is so kind of salty. And everybody's expression was like this. The master once again smilingly told the student, now do a thing, empty this glass jar of salt into the lake now. So the students also did the same thing as told by the master and now the master asked the students, now taste this water from the lake. So the students took the water in the hand and they just started drinking the water. One by one drank the water from the lake and told the master that, "Oh dear master, this water is as sweet as before. There is no saltiness here." Now the wise master looked at the students and asked them, "Stress is nothing but the salt in your life. There is always going to be salt in your life. But it is you who decide whether you want to remain as a small glass of water or just like this big lake which can dissolve all the salt." Yes, there is always going to be salt in your life. Salt or stress is going to be an integral part of your life, but how do you manage your stress is really important. So the choice is yours whether you want to remain like a small glass or like this big lake. Every one of us is bombarded with stress in this life. Everybody is running like very fast, sprinting in every day rather than just running a marathon. It all happens. Stress can come in from work, every single place. But the most important thing is how you manage it is really going to be very important. When you are under deep stress, make sure don't kind of react immediately. Give it just 10 minutes. The 10 minutes can really make a huge difference. So this session is not over right now yet. We have an important activity of how you're going to handle your stress bucket of all the salts that's getting poured in your life. Are you going to be the small glass of water or big lake? Let's find out. Bye. So hi and welcome to this activity on your stress bucket. Yes, this is just a drawing that I did for the stress bucket kind of thing. So you can identify this place as the most important thing. This is your life. So let's get started right now. Let's just understand this bucket first of all. This bucket can be divided into zones like from 1 to like 9 or 10 zones as you please. So this is the level, that is this green highlighted is nothing but the stress level that you can really manage. So maybe like 5.5 or something that you really can manage without any problems. So but the big thing is none of us will be in this 5. We'll be almost everybody will be here. That is today's scenario. This is the truth actually. So this area, this yellow area up to 7, maybe you can manage your stress without much problem. So you'll not feel like lack of sleep or anything, depression or anything, some stuff that happens because of stress. And this is the buffer zone. This is going to be the maximum thing you can bear. After 9, the big problem is this bucket will start going to overflow. It's going to be really difficult for every single one of us to cope up with stress. So most of us will be in this zone, I think. So this is something like it's very common. So this is the coping mechanism where if you really have to cope up from your stress, all you need is to open this tap over here and let this water come out of the bucket. So the level of the water really comes down. This is what is called as coping mechanism here, which I'll be just speaking about right now. So this is the stress. This is some of the most common stresses. For you, it can also be so very different. So what I really put down here is it can be a workload, it can be your health. No, if you are ill, maybe really you're going to be so very stressed. Why is this happening to me? So workload, you know it right. Today we have so much workload, targets and all the other kind of stuff. Then this is negative feedback. Somebody gives you a negative feedback of you're like you're not doing this thing good, you're not capable of doing that, or things like that put you under deep stress because you keep thinking again and again and again while your ego is like kind of trying to tell you no, 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 something like that. Then comes the deadlines. Then for students, it is exam pressure and deadlines. Both of them, exam dates will really keep us stressed. It's not only for this students, but also for adults too. This happens, right? And another most important thing is this financial problems. Yes, even I have a deep stress about financial problem because I'm not good in finances. For the truth is there. Then family issues. Pretty much everybody has this. It can come in any form: wife, sister, daughter, father, mother, and all the other things. And most important, another important thing is this is trying to meet expectations. Yes, this is one of the most important thing. We just try to be someone, right? We just want to fulfill the dreams of another person by even not trying to just fulfill our dreams. So these are some of the things that lead you to stress. The activity that I really want you to do is like identify what are all these kind of stresses that you're putting into the stress bucket, so the level goes above the buffer zone and is really going to overflow. So this is one of the most important things I want you to do. First of all, take a paper or a book or a journal, whatever you like it. Identify and write down all your stresses, what is just pushing you out of this buffer zone. It can be anything. These are just the examples that I listed down. Your stress can be anything, but I want you to write down in a very deep manner. Such as example, if it's a family problem, I want you just not like write it as family problem. No, I want you to specify the family problem, whether from where it comes, because the more you specify, the more you are going to get into the root of the stress. So this will be a very important exercise. Take your own time in doing this. It can also take some kind of hours to finish it, but still it is okay. Now we'll go into the most important thing. This is called as coping. You need to know what is coping mechanism is. So some kind of examples for coping skills, what I put it here, like kind of let's see what are all these things. The first and the foremost important thing is like lower your expectation. Yes, this becomes very important. We have a huge expectation from ourselves and from others. Sometimes you may be some kind of a teacher where you expect more from your student, or you may be a manager who kind of expect more from your colleagues and subordinates. The big problem is nobody can fulfill your expectations. This is the truth in this world, because you are unique and nobody is you. So I will go to this in the last ask for help. Now take responsibility. Yes. One of the coping skills is taking responsibility for your stress that you really face right now. The more you want to run away from your stress, the more it is really going to torment and torture you. So identify your stress and take responsibility for what is happening around your life. If you are a person who's just avoiding responsibility, then I don't think it is really not going to help you at all. Then analyze the root of the stress. Yes, I want you to go into the root of the stress. Sometimes, if, for an example, for let me just take my example. I really like kind of become so very stressed because when somebody tells me some kind of negative thing, I just started thinking about this. Then I came to understand that during my childhood, I was like criticized from my parents. Right? They expect me to be some kind of perfect. I was not meeting their demands. So this the thing that I carried from my childhood kept reflecting here. So I had to understand and analyze this root of the stress to identify what I really need to know about this stress. So next is don't be too serious. Yes. You're not going to lose anything in your life. Just think like that. Don't be too very serious. I have seen people taking life to be too serious and they are burning out like things. They want to just run behind all the goals and targets and all the other things. So more you start doing all these kinds of stuff, if you are becoming too serious, I don't think you'd really be coping at all. Then is take breaks often and go for vacations. Yes, this is one of the most important thing I'm telling to people. Some people think that when they are in work that they should not take leave, they should have 100% attendance and all the other kinds of stuff. If you want the numbers or if you want your life, I would say that it is about your life and not about the numbers. There are some people who can manage continuously, but if you are not one among those people, take some breaks and go for some vacation. Take your bike, take your car, go outside, go enjoy some, just release that pressure that is holding inside you. Then the most important thing is help someone or volunteering. Yes, this is really going to just make you come out of your stress, because when you go and help someone or you volunteer for some good cause, maybe it is for some kind of child education, or maybe you are just providing food for some kind of needy people. The big thing is when you start helping someone, you will identify that their life is really some kind of very bad than yours. So you'll start to find some kind of gratitude in your life. You'll just start to see the good things in your life. So this is one of the very important thing, volunteering and helping someone. If you can do this, I suggest most of the times if you do this, your stress is really going to come down. I promise you guys. Next is creative learning. If you really like some kind of drawing or illustration or some things like that, please do it. Because if you're a person who is kind of analytical or something, Maybe you're good at numbers, maybe you're good at data or something, but you're stressed about doing these things again and again and again. But when you do something creative, like just a simple thing like coloring, buy yourself a coloring book, buy yourself like sketches or something like this, and start maybe doing it, because it'll just slow down your thinking, that you are not just running behind something. There's no target, you can take your own time. So this is really going to help you. Another important thing is, if you are a kind of a person who's spiritual, I would suggest you that learn some kind of spiritual books. You will get to the root of the meaning, that there is nothing in this whole world really worth for you to be stressed about. So this thing comes directly from spirituality. And next is learning from mistakes. I want you to learn from your mistakes. It is, many people would have an opinion. They like to put you down, that you made a mistake, you made this, you made that. This happens in offices, this happens in many places. I have seen many people who want to put down someone, right? So just don't just get stressed because of these people. Learn from your mistakes, don't make the same mistake again. So that is the only thing that is required about you. But if somebody tells us that making mistakes is bad, don't you ever believe those people. Another coping and very important thing is journaling. Yes. Maybe I want you to write down every day what is happening. Maybe before the time of your retiring to sleep. Yes. Take some time, write things in a journal. It can be visual, it can be colorful, you can stick things like that, or maybe just ordinary writing. Do this for at least 1 week. Yes, I promise you, you're going to find deeper meaning within yourself. And next, an important thing is PMR. PMR is called as Progressive Muscle Relaxation Technique. Go to YouTube and type this PMR. You will have some kind of videos for that. It'll help you to sleep better. They'll tell you to lie down. They will slowly just move around your body. That is from your top of the head to your feet, and they'll tell you to relax yourself. The more you are into this PMR kind of stuff, if you can do this PMR every day before you sleep, I think you will even have a good night's sleep. Or the next alternate state thing for coping is, it's called as yoga nidra for sleep. Yes, this is also another procedure which will really help you to sleep. So these are some of the coping skills, and the most important thing is asking for help. Yes, delegate, decentralize. Yes, the big thing is many of us refuse to ask for help. This is been like we are thought of not asking for help. We are thought that we are self-dependent, self-reliant. We are everything. So this is really going to be a very, very bad thing. I want you to ask for help if you really cannot do it. Let me just tell you about my personal things. I was a person who was very stressed, very anxious, very depressed. This was true. I tried reading lot of books, lot of doing all the things which I listed here, but none of them was working for me. So ultimately, I had to go and see a psychiatrist. I went and met a psychiatrist. She just told me the stress bucket thing. She told me that you are a 38-year-old guy. So if you can imagine yourself to be some kind of a truck carrying a heavy load, at 38 years, you should be carrying something like 50 tons, but you are only able to carry 40 tons. If you 41 ton has been placed on you, you just break. So this was your problem. So she just told me what should all be done for reducing all my stresses, something like what has been listed. And she also told me that I'm some kind of a perfectionist, expecting wonderful results from everything that I do. I need to come out of this like kind of this perfection mechanism and learn to accept my mistakes so that I really can come out. So this is one of the great thing that I had is, I read many things and all the other things were not working, but ultimately I had to ask for help. If you really cannot do it on or your own, I feel it's not something like very bad to ask for help. The moment you ask for help, things are really going to change. So these are some of the steps, things to come out of your stress levels. And if you think that watching Netflix and gaming is really a coping skill, I would say that all these things are not a coping skill, but rather these are distraction mechanism. They are not coping skills, they are just distraction mechanism. There's a huge difference between coping and distraction. And after distraction, the stress comes back. But once you start practicing these coping skills, you'll be really able to manage your stress bucket pretty effectively, right? So just take your own time and identify your stresses and just come. I know that you cannot come out of your stress, but only thing that I want you to learn is how to manage your stress. Okay. So this activity is, that's all. So I hope so you just take this very seriously, because stress is one of the most important things that keep killing people every day. They make you prone to diseases, they make your immune system weak. So make sure that learn to come out of all these things so that you can really be very happy. So thanks for this activity, guys. I'll see you in another one. Bye.
The world spoke. You are not enough. My parents said, you are not destined. I dwelled in those lies and lived. Day after day, all those lies clouded over me. Words of insult overawed me. Slowly I believed that I was a limited person. Then one day, arise, the voice thundered in my heart. I knew that I am the phoenix. On that very day, I understood that I am limitless. So what really broke our wings? We became domesticated by the world, just like a small puppy being trained for its biscuit. If you wag your tail, you get a biscuit. We want to satisfy the world, its principles, its morals and its rules. We became one of them. Trying to swim against the tide, we are sure on the path that we go to ruin. An artist becomes an engineer, a sculptor becomes an accountant. All happen because we accepted that we are destined to be as such. The rules all given by the world. Someone told me I cannot sing when I was a kid. I believed it was true and I never sang after that. The simple term I can't and you can't became by-hearted in my heart. Never did I question those words. Now it became my food and sleep. I never improved. Now it is the time to really question our self-beliefs and values. In the words of Buddha, believe nothing, no matter where you read it or who said it, no matter if I said it, unless it agrees with your own reason and your own common sense. Now it is a time to break free from the invisible walls of prison of your life. It is time to loosen and escape those chains that had so long held us. So make sure we break free, because we are not limited, rather we are limitless.
Are you a person of a limited thinker? If you are, I want you to listen to this story that we go on right now. So once in a village, there was a circus going on. This was a kind of, this is the first time some people in the village are witnessing this circus. The circus was kind of wonderful. There were clowns, there were just lions jumping from this things and all, and then penguins doing all the wonderful stuff and all the other beautiful stuff that is happening in circus. You would have witnessed circus right now, right? So it was kind of very beautiful. The people were very joyful to witness something. The children were just running around this side and that side with candies in their mouth and everything. Everything was witnessed with real joy. The people coming out of the canyon and all the other, what you call this thing, blasting firecrackers and everything. It was kind of time which really was very good for children and for people. They were having a good time and they were very happy. So these children were just going inside the circus, witnessing one area after another. But there was Michael. Michael loved all the other things, but something was speaking something inside his mind. He saw an elephant, very huge elephant, tied to a small stick that was poked in the ground with the chains from the elephant's feet to this stick it was tied. The elephant really was not trying to break the chains or the stick or anything else. So Michael was kind of thinking, what is wrong with this elephant? Does not the elephant know that this is just a stupid stick? That if it moves his feet like this, the thing can break and chains can break, and because the elephant has so much amount of strength. Many questions were popping up inside Michael. Michael did not know what to do, and it was the fate of Michael. You know about children, they're very curious, right? Very, very curious. So ultimately, Michael happened to meet an elephant trainer over there in circus. So this trainer was just supervising all the animals, just like, everything is doing according to the work of it. Then this Michael pulled, trainer, yeah, what small boy, what do you want right now? I have one big doubt. Would you help me to clear this doubt? Okay, tell me, what's the doubt? I see an elephant over there, such a big elephant, tied to the stick. Why does it not break out from the stick? Is it really an elephant or it is some kind of like toy or something? The trainer thought for some time, looked at the boy, and really this was kind of very important question that is going to change his life. So the trainer straight away looked in the eyes of the boy and told him, this elephant, when it was very small like you, I tied it into the stick, putting a small just a rope around its leg and putting it to the stick. The elephant tried to move the stick because since it was the stick was put so much into the ground, the elephant tried and tried and tried like small babies trying to walk, right? It tried, but it could not break the stick. It tried for many days and months. Ultimately, it couldn't break free because the elephant did not have the strength to break the stick. So the elephant started growing up. Okay. Even though it had grown up, the thinking what is inside its mind that this stick is stronger than me. This stick is stronger than this elephant. So right from its childhood, it believed that something was stronger than himself, and no matter whatever happens, this elephant will not break free from that stick and the chains and go into the wild forest. So this is the fate of this elephant for the rest of his life. So now, my dear Michael, do not be like this foolish elephant. You are not an elephant. You are a human being, right? You can grow up. No matter whoever tells you that you are not fit to do this, you are not capable of realizing this or your dreams, no matter your parents, no matter your friends, no matter your teachers or anybody who tells you you cannot do this, never ever believe those words because you are so greater in your capacity to become someone so great that you really want. If you have dreams, go pursue your dreams. If you have desires, go do it. If you have goals, go do it. Nobody on the earth has that much power to stop you other than you yourself. Yes, this was a story that you really need to remember when you are faced with some kind of task or whether anybody tells you that you're not capable of doing that, no matter your parents, teachers, or anybody else, never ever believe, do what you love and you'll just go on with your life. So, next will be an activity for limited thinking. Yes, we want to just analyze what kind of limited beliefs you have. Okay, so stay tuned for the activity. I'll meet you inside this activity. Bye. So, hi and welcome to this activity on limited thinking. So, I want you to write down your limited thinking patterns. I want to just put one table column like this. So, what are my limited thinking patterns? And I want you to ask a question every single time. Is it true and is it why? Yes, these two questions are very, very important for limited thinking patterns. But before you do this activity, I want you to explain what this limited thinking phenomenon is all about, and you should really know more about this limited thinking. So let's get started right now. So this is the limited thinking graph. If you can dream it, you really can achieve it. Yes, this is you with all your limited thinking beliefs that I'm really going to explain it right now. So the first one can be called as catastrophizing. Yes, this is like you start to worry when just something happens in your life. It can be an ordinary thing, but you kind of just make it bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and ultimately into very big gas balloon. It may be like it was just a small molehill, but you just made a mountain out of all the things. Maybe this is really not true. Okay, it can be some kind of incident where you keep thinking like, could this happen? Like things like that. When you are just caught up in kind of this catastrophistic thinking, I want you to just ask yourself the question, how bad can it really get on a scale of 1 to 10? Or else, am I right? Am I thinking in the correct manner, or is it, or am I really wrong in this kind of thinking pattern? in again a spectrum of 1 to 10. Most of the times when you keep asking this question to yourself, your thinking pattern could not be like kind of, it will be like 1 or 2, but your imagination will be like kind of 10, but actually it's really not going to happen. So this is one of the most important thing of limited thinking. The second approach is dichotomous thinking, either it is like good or bad, like right or wrong. You just don't have a middle path in between this. You always think that either I am smart or either I am a stupid, either I am intelligent or either I am like kind of a poor guy. You start to think like this kind of dichotomous thinking patterns. So these kind of pattern get originated from your childhood. Somebody would have asked you to do like this, or somebody would have criticized, somebody would have scolded, so you could have developed this kind of dichotomous pattern. You need to understand whether you experience this kind of pattern in your life. So all as I'm asking is, question your beliefs first and then do this activity. So now is fixed mindset. This can be like fate, yes, I'm born like this, or like kind of I'm a handicapped person, I cannot accomplish much. You would have seen like kind of many people with real physical inabilities accomplishing like so much, like dancing and sports and all the other kind of things. What if they had a limited thinking in their life? They would probably not have accomplished anything. Like, so I want you to throw this fixed mindset away from your life and make understand that you can learn and master anything. It need not be about that you are some kind of people should be of talented to do this. No, just strike this talent, and with hard work you can do anything. So this fixed mindset pattern can be only be overcome by this hard working pattern. Now getting stuck, how? When you have a large goal or large project, the first thing that comes in your mind is, how am I able to do it? What if I lose? What if I suck? What if I ruin this project? No, 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 never. You need to understand, I want you to get out of this how pattern and break large chunks of material into smaller patterns, or if you have a big project, break that project into smaller patterns, so you'll be able to come out of this limited thinking pattern of getting stuck. And one of the other most important thing is others opinions. Somebody would have like kind of criticized you, yes, you are a loser. Yes, this happens to every single person. Your boss would have told you that you are incapable of doing this work, you are waste or something like that. Because many of us are really afraid of this criticism. And after that, our self judgments follow. What if what he told would be true? Or am I really a loser? I'm a born loser. And all these things will come from others' opinions. So make sure you just forget about this naysayers at any and every cost, because it's your life, and if you can dream it, you really can achieve this. So these are some of the examples that I gave you about your limited thinking patterns. Now just transfer this example into this kind of activity page. Yes, my patterns, is that true? Yes, I'm just going to give you an example like, I am a, yes, failure. Many people think this, I'm a failure. But the question is, I want you to ask this, yes or no. The most of the time, this would be like, it will be no, yes. You are really not a failure. Maybe you just lack the skills, right? And if you have learned the skills, you may not really be a failure, right? If you're failed in kind of some kind of examination or something like that, is it really not possible that if you can just cultivate the required skills and some kind of learning? Yes. Next, my parents tell me like I am not capable, right? Could be this happens in some of the family scenarios. If your parents tell you that you are not capable, maybe their parent would have believed them like that. It doesn't mean that you need to believe that you are not some kind of a capable person. Maybe you need to prove them wrong. Yes, you need to prove. And also I want you to ask a question, How much did you try? Yes. This is a question. Let's take an example. I'm just doing the Skillshare class. I don't know whether there is going to be some kind of more students, or maybe also possibility that I may not get much students, or people may not even like this course. But if I keep thinking that I'm not going to be a success, or I'm really going to be a failure, I don't think that I will be able to create much more classes than this, right? Even if this class fails, I really have to do another class. Maybe that could be a success. It is all just comes in my faith and belief in myself. If I think I am a limited kind of guy, I don't think I can make up anywhere in my life. The same thing, I wrote a book. I thought myself that I was a guy who's very poor in English and all the other kinds of stuff and all the other things in my life. But I really wrote a book, which I feel very really happy, because I was just doing blogging only for a couple of months. Then after that, write my own book. When I just had so much limited beliefs in my life. There were many things like that. Will the book sell or anything? I'm really not bothered whether the book is going to sell or not sell. But I did a project. I was not in a mindset of limited thinking. I know that you also can take up some projects, do what you love or things like that. But make sure, I want you to understand this, come out of your limited set of patterns. If you can dream it, you really can achieve it. So take time in this limited thinking pattern, give yourself like congratulate after you just finish this activity, friends. Thanks for watching this. I'll just see you in the next one. Bye.
Personality begins where comparison leads off. Be unique, be memorable, and be confident, and also be proud. You know that you shouldn't compare yourself with others. That is often easier said than done. Job title, income, grades, house and Facebook likes, the number of categories in which we can compare to ourselves to others is really so infinite. So is the number of people we can compare ourselves to. Comparison is generally the fast track to unhappiness. It is a recipe for misery. All it does is keeping you focused on what you don't like about yourself and your own life. I caught myself glancing over to what other people had, and I didn't, where they were in life and where I wasn't. I had made the decisions to rebuild my life from scratch, so of course I was behind when I started comparing myself to my friends. The more I focused on their path and not my own, the more I lost control. Eventually, I reached a point where I questioned my decision, and that when I knew I had to change my perspective quickly. You can't change something you don't really acknowledge. So instead of resisting or fighting where you are, come to peace with it. Say yes to every part of your life, and from that place, make decisions that will move you in the right direction. If you are not happy with yourself today, remember that this is just a snapshot of your life. Where you are today doesn't say anything from where you will be against 1 or 2 years from now. What matters isn't where you are. What matters is your mindset, your attitude, and where you are really headed. So stop comparing with yourself and start living a wonderful life which you really have.
By the time now you would have understood that how comparison would have ruined your lives, right? So let's go into a small story to understand how you should really not compare with anybody or anything in your life. So there was one kind of a samurai. He was like kind of a brave person who just won many wars, killed many kings, and helped the people to come out of their depressed things like freedom and all the other things. He was a kind of person who fight and won wars, freeing people, freeing kings, and all the other kinds. Like he was kind of very famous samurai, was very respected and feared by most people. So, but the big problem with the samurai is no matter how hard he tried and how many wars he waged and won, still it looks like his heart was some kind of empty. It was kind of never ever happy. So the samurai wanted to really find out what was missing in his life. Like us, right? Something the samurai missed, not being able to be happy, right? So I went to a Buddhist monastery over there, and he saw the monks over there, and he met one of the monks, and the monk, he told the monk that I don't know what happened with me. I won many wars and done many things, but still I really do not see happiness. And I find something is missing from my life no matter how hard I win or try or do anything. The monk looked at the samurai and told him, I'm really sorry, but today I have a lot of work to do. But if you can really wait till evening, maybe I can help you to come out of this problem. So the samurai did not tell bye bye and went off, but the samurai felt that he just wanted to watch the monks what they do from morning till evening. So he sat there looking at all the monks doing. The monks were just watering the trees, were helping the poor, were helping the people. They were just doing very, very ordinary activities, but remained that they kind of very happy. They was always like smiling. There was no hesitation or like they were not uninterested in all the other things. Even washing their clothes, they were like doing it very happily. This samurai was kind of, he felt in his heart that these monks are so very serene even for ordinary activities. I have done many things in my life, but I don't think I can match up to these monks. Somehow some feeling of inferiority kept under his mind and heart. But he waited till the night, wanted to just speak to the monk. The monk again came back after his work. This samurai who waited long time went and met the monk and told him, Dear sir, I have seen you doing all the activities from morning. I cannot understand how are you so very happy in doing some very ordinary activities, whereas I still can't do or be happy no matter how hard I try. The monks just smilingly looked at the samurai and asked him to look up. Yes. Both of them looked up and the monk asked the samurai, what do you see over there? The samurai told, it's a full moon, yes. And once again the monk asked, you have been from the morning, you have seen the sun and now you are seeing the moon. Who do you think is the bigger one among them? Then the samurai answered this monk that sun is one of the great things. It shines light upon the earth and it gives life to the plants and all the other things. Without sun we cannot do anything. But the moon shines a beautiful light in the night. Without the moon I really cannot witness the beauty of the night. But I cannot compare the sun and the moon because each has its own role to play and each of them are very important in our life from morning till night. Yes. Now the monk congratulated and appreciated this samurai and told, this is the problem with you. Samurai still couldn't understand. The monk told, the big problem with you is you are never satisfied with what you accomplish. You are always comparing yourself with others. Someday or the other, there are going to be people who are greater than you, who are more successful than you, who are richer than you, and who are more skillful than you. And the more and more you start to compare yourself with others, the less and less your happiness is going to be. So this is the story about the monk and the samurai. What about us? What are we doing in our life? We buy a mobile phone, and if a friend buys another mobile phone which is bigger in display or bigger in capacity or anything, we just look at this and we wanted to buy it, right? We buy so many consumer things just by comparing what we have with others. More and more we start to compare things or us with others, the more and more depressed we really are going to be. So the next activity is that you're going to write where you are really depressed when you start to compare with others. I'll also join you for this activity so stay tuned. I'll meet you there. So hi and welcome once again to the activity on comparing yourself. So this is the chart about comparison. This is me, that is myself, and this should be you, naturally, right? I put you in a high order while I just keep degrading myself by kind of comparison. This is just a scale that happens in every single person's life. So by now you would have understood that comparison is one kind of very dangerous thing which we really should not put it into our life. So what are all the things that you can do in comparison? The activity for you after this thing would be like write down things that you are really comparing yourself with others. It can be like it could be in career, it could be in personal life, it could be anywhere, but really kind of understand that comparison just steals the joy away from your beautiful life. Yes. So what are all the things that a person can really take in for not doing the comparison with others? The first and the foremost thing is that I want you to just understand or know the direction of your life. So this is a very important thing, this direction of your life. Once you have a purpose, a direction, or a goal in your life, you're not going to be comparing with anybody else, right? Make sure you meet the goals, break the goals in a month wise, year wise, or week wise, and start putting on your effort towards that goals. So when you have a direction in your life, your mind would not be just kind of dilly dangling about your uh, your level and what is your neighbor's level or your friends or colleagues or anybody's level, so you can just stop comparing with yourself. The second is self awareness. This is one of the most important steps in stopping comparison. Understand, when you just start comparing yourself with another, when you have this kind of self awareness, you're going to stop your mind getting into the comparison mode there. That's all. This self-awareness is very important for you to get out of your this kind of bad journey of comparison. So be aware of what is happening around you. Be aware of your thoughts, whether it is going negative towards comparison or something. Put a check mark to this thing through self-awareness. The next would be time. When we just start to compare ourselves with some kind of successful person or a wealthy person, we just see the result, but we don't just see the journey that what that person has really gone through to be some kind of a rich or intelligent or anything else. Because the big problem with social media is social media just shows you only this effects on what that person has, right? It doesn't show what their journey, what their failures and all the other things. It just shows him that he is successful more than you. So this kind of phenomenon creates more kind of envy and jealousy without you really knowing what is the journey behind that person really came. And next is to stop your comparison is identifying your strength. This is one of the most important thing. Everybody cannot be really strong in all the activities that they do, right? A fish can swim in water, whereas a bird can fly, right? This is something different. If you ask a fish to fly and a bird to swim, I think it's kind of a ruination, right? Both these people should not compare with one another. And also, do remember something, that when you're going to compare with somebody richer, you should also understand that did they work really hard, or that is their parents' money or something like that. So don't you ever compare your strengths with another person. Make sure that you just build up on your strengths. This is one of the most important things. Another is learn to appreciate another one. If somebody has got a somebody has got a promotion in the job where you would have just wanted this promotion or desired that promotion, just stop all the negative things in your mind, like comparing what did I miss and what did he do. Rather, just stop putting all those things to rest and go and appreciate that person. In this way, you can just forgive yourself for comparing you with another guy. Yes, this is very important thing. And I want you to love your life. Yes, don't you just start your life with comparing that another person had so many electronic goods than me, another person is more highly paid than me, he's getting promotion, he's in a very good job. Just stop it. You don't know what their journey in life is all about, right? When you don't know something, then you are not supposed to compare, right? Comparison steals the joy away from your life. This is the most important thing I want you to remember. Love your life no matter how hard or how bad it is. It is really going to change. Life is a cycle. It's full of up and down. Sometimes it may be up, sometimes it may be down. It just goes on and on. And next is count your blessings. Yes. I want you to have that feeling of gratitude within yourself. Look at all the disprivileged or the underprivileged people surrounding you. Feel better or good about your life that you are not in those kind of position. So better count your blessings and not your troubles. There is a good proverb that I cried because I had no shoes until I saw a man with no feet. So this should be your thing when you just want to compare yourself with one another. By taking all the actions what we have just now learned, I want you to write in your journal or in your book of what all the things that you are comparing yourself with some other person. It can be like grudge, envy, or anything that would have developed within yourself due to this comparison habit that you have been doing quite lately, right? So write down all the things, then just think about why are you comparing yourself with another person. Find out all these things what I taught you. Direction of your life, self-awareness, what is the time, your strengths, and appreciate the things. Just have a perspective of all those things what you can do about it. Then slowly it will take some time because you would have developed a habit of comparison with another person in your life. So give those times to come out of this comparison and appreciate the life that you really have. I hope so that you will do this activity because it's a kind of very difficult activity because comparison really hurts. Yes, it's a beautiful life. We are not supposed to compare, right? No matter how bad it is. So thanks for watching this tutorial. I'll see you in the next one. Bye guys. Thank you. Take care.
50-50 Kobe.
Say it one more time. Say it one more time.
50-50 Kobe.
Say it one more time.
50-50 Kobe.
Yes, man. That's you heard it, man. Yes.
You got it.
Thank you very